Hi, this is Melissa from Loops of Gray, and this is part 2 of our Woobles crochet kit review featuring Bjørn the Narwhal. So I've gotten this far on the narwhal, and I wanted to give you my updated review of some of the steps that we've gone through so far. Luckily, there's plenty of blue yarn for me to start over with a new project and just to show you a little bit of what they're talking about. One of the things I actually did like about the instructions for the increasing part is this really cool graph that they had to kind of explain how 2 stitches becomes 3 stitches. I thought that was a really nicely done graph, and hopefully that helps some people visualize what all these increases kind of look like. One thing that I thought was interesting was that after you finish round 5, it tells you to flip your work inside out. And I thought this was interesting because that's something I do naturally, like throughout working these rows, is that I'm always making sure that the outside is on the outside of the bowl. It does naturally, if you're not really thinking about it, kind of form the bowl where the outside is kind of on the inside of the bowl, but that's just, I guess, something I do instinctively, and so I never thought about explicitly flipping it inside out. And I also thought it was confusing that they said inside out when really you're flipping it right side out. But that's a minor tidbit. I did think they explained the difference between the right side and the wrong side really well, because here's the right side and it's got these like little V's on it. But then when you look at the other side, it's got these like horizontal bars on it. So that's how you know which is the right side and wrong side, and I thought that was really helpful. When it comes to changing colors, I also think the Woobles did a good job of explaining what to do to have a neat transition from the old color to the new color. You're going to start by inserting your hook into the next stitch, pulling through with your existing color, and then instead of finishing it with the existing color, you're actually going to finish it with the new color. And you're just going to drape the new color over the hook and pull it through the stitch. And what this does is it makes that stitch all in the old color, and now the new color is ready to go to start the new stitch. Another thing I thought was interesting is that they recommended that you work over your tails instead of just leaving them. So for a plushie, I'm not sure that it matters a whole lot to work over your tails, since the plushie part, since this is on the inside of the work, because what I would usually do is, let's get this long tail here. What I would usually do is just work a few stitches and then go back and then just tie a knot in these ends right here, right where the colors transition, and then cut the tail kind of long, because that's all going to be inside your work. But I do think it is a good technique to learn to work over your tails, so that for things where there is a right side and a wrong side, that are both visible, that you don't have your tails hanging out. So basically you're inserting your hook you're kind of laying this over top and treating this all like one big stitch that you're working into. So then you can yarn over and pull through all of that. And so then when you yarn over here and pull through that, it is encasing those tails inside the stitch. So here again, you're gonna insert underneath your stitch with all of this stuff in here, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through to finish your stitch. And again, where the tails are all enclosed and you can't see them on either side. So, that's a really good technique to learn. There were a few other things in the videos that I thought were kind of weird and could be confusing to a brand new person. When they were explaining the color changes, this is how it looks, you know, when you're starting off on your little narwhal. But the video itself showed, you know, just a little starting piece, you know, maybe a few rounds, and it had the blue, but then used orange yarn, you know, just in like a little sample piece. Like I said, the instructions are all pretty good, but it was kind of jarring to go in your, you know, in the video where it doesn't look like your work anymore. Like if this was like your, you know, second or third piece, you know, or maybe, you know, as long as you can kind of translate visually what's in the video to your own work, you know, that might be okay, but I did think that was kind of weird. I ran into the same issue when we were working on the belly and it started to do decreasing. You know, here, where the decreases are, this part is done in white, you know, where you've already changed your colors from the body to the belly. But in the video, the whole piece was blue. And like I said, if you can translate what they're showing in the picture to what your work looks like, it's probably fine, but again, just a little confusing. Another one is that they safety eyes in their kit do not match the video of what they look like. So here's what they look like in the video: is your safety eye and a backing that looks like this, kind of a two-layer piece, one circle smaller than the other, and you know, they have you insert it onto your safety eye like this. However, the piece that actually comes in the kit looks like this, and it's got the more of like a triangle shape in it. It's still kind of, if you look at it from the side, it still has the same two-layer design with the two circles, but this is made out of a hard plastic, and the other one is made out of more of a softer plastic. You know, you can kind of squish it just a little bit. You would still insert the safety eye the same way, you know, like this, but, you know, unless you knew that, you know, they look pretty similar, but, you know, just one of those things where it would have been nice to have the safety eye backer matched, you know, in the video match actually the one in the kit. And then lastly, when we're closing up the ball here at the end, they didn't actually give any instructions on how to thread your tapestry needle. I have found this actually to be a little difficult for some of my students. It doesn't always, you know, here, look, I'm already even having trouble, like, because this end of this yarn is like really fluffy, and you know, I mean, I got it through and it's fine, but I would have liked to have them show like another technique of like, hey, if you have trouble getting this threaded, a technique I like to use is to fold the yarn over the needle, over the eye of the needle like this, and hold it tight so that there's only a little bit sticking out, and then you're gonna pull your needle out, and like now the yarn is kind of folded over, and from here you can use the eye of your needle and kind of wiggle it down over the yarn, and so it's now, you know, through the eye, and you're not having to worry about all of these like weird fuzzy bits on the end, and you just pull it through and you're ready to go. It would have been nice to have that. Obviously not a deal breaker or anything, but that's something that I like to teach my students, because threading these is sometimes trickier than it looks. Some last thoughts on the videos that got us to the, you know, finishing the narwhal body, is that the videos do a pretty good job of explaining like the basics of single crochet and getting started, and you know, making the stitches. It really breaks it down into little steps, which is great. But then I think some of the bigger concepts like increasing or following a pattern are a little bit breezed over. I wish they would have explained a little bit more of the concepts behind it. In general, the videos do a good job of helping you make this exact piece and not really like why you're making it or how you can extrapolate that out to something else. Which, I mean, I guess is the point of these kits, is that they want you to make more of these kits. It's like, well, if you can make a narwhal with one of our kits, you can make a dinosaur, you can make a penguin, you can make Harry Potter, you know, all that stuff. So, you know, I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense, but, you know, would have liked to seen a little bit more explanation about increasing and, you know, working on the pattern kind of concepts. But, you know, overall, I mean, I made a plushie and it looks really cute. And now, granted, I already know how to crochet, but I honestly think this is pretty doable for a beginner, again, with some of the caveats that I've mentioned so far. So all that's left is, I believe there's some fins that we need to add, and then, of course, the signature narwhal horn. So catch you in part 3. Thanks. Bye.